Good morning, Laramie. It's April 7th, Tuesday. It's a big day in Laramie, Wyoming, as the sun works its way to the top of the summit above 7220. I thought it was important that we take a good look. We're looking north and west along the Laramie River. You can hear Snowy Range Road behind me, the traffic bustling along. You can see the packing plant, Murdoch's warehouse. And as we look at the summit and traffic rolling along, getting where everybody's got to get before daybreak, actually crests 8640 elevation and Lincoln's Monument to the east of Laramie. Thought it was important to take a 360-degree view, because it's 360 degrees that impact will travel. Territorial Prison State Historic Site in the distance at the left of the screen. And you hear the traffic, you hear the louder engine revving. Some cars quieter. But as traffic increases, so does pressure on wildlife. So does the impact on the community as a whole. City Council in Laramie, Wyoming this evening at 6:30 p.m. will begin a very important agenda. Like every week's agenda, it has important decisions that will be made. And their impact will go far beyond what you might think, what you might expect. Many of those might take into consideration wildlife, but many may not. Many may not take a strong look. Maybe some even haven't walked the Greenway. So we do so this morning. And as we look essentially north and west of Snowy Range Road, I thought I'd take you right to the edge of the Laramie River. A place that some in the community may not have traveled. You may not have checked it out. But I thought that it was important that everybody does so. This ecosystem has been preserved essentially for 150 years. And each season, the waters rise and the waters fall. Interstate 80, just across the way. Sometimes I think we detach ourselves from taking a really important look at exactly what we're all talking about. The opportunity that I see on this landscape is an opportunity that I've heard precious few conversations about. And I'd like to see that change. And I hope it changes beginning tonight. The seeds of ideas and creativity and resolution, well, they originated long before me. But as I open up this talk shop segment, I take you to historic places. People come from all around the world to visit Wyoming, the Wyoming Territorial Prison State Historic Site, the Laramie Railroad Historic Depot, where we have the great fortune of seeing the Union Pacific's steam locomotive giant Big Boy 4014. And as you look, as I pan this northern and western side, at the edge of Snowy Range Road, I wanted you to have one more look, one more vantage point. And as I see the traffic bustling along on Snowy Range, I think about traffic. I think about the impact of a growing Laramie on city streets. I think about the impact that exists on safety, children aren't often discussed, but sometimes I think we definitely shouldn't go without talking about it. But we're going to cross Snowy Range Road here, right at the bridge, and we're going to over the top of the rail, to the south edge. Nice wide sidewalks, nice improvement, nice development. I remember in college making my way from West Laramie into downtown Laramie from along Snowy Range Road. I did it at night, in dark, unlit. Circumstance, and the traffic doesn't slow down. What impact will changing this landscape have on traffic? What impact will it have on the full experience of this greenbelt right along the edge of the Laramie River? Tonight at 6:30 in City Council Chambers, 406 Ivinson, I invite you. Come give your opinion. Should an any doors, anywhere policy threaten the West Side Historic District neighborhood, described as that space between the historic Union Pacific Railroad in that direction, across the West Side Historic District, also along its edge, and bordering adjacent to these 32 acres of undeveloped land proposed in this space. What you see right here. Does this not look like a natural park, potentially undisturbed? Very little required. Well, let me tell you, as a West Side neighbor, this space between, you see the summit on the horizon, you see the skyline. Between that skyline and the water at the bottom of Screen's Edge here, you're looking at nature preserved for 150 years, and first developed probably by the railroad, breaking ground across the West. But as they did so, as humankind does, we pollute. Or at least there's a brownfield study that indicates that pollution may exist, does exist, has existed for how long? Well, Mother Nature, our Earth, have a filtration system. And that filtration system is this land, is this edge. And it's a really important one. Like protecting the aquifer, protecting this land also assures that railroad or resident pollutants get a chance to cleanse and purify and reclaim the soils. Let this area be considered for preservation and not infill housing. Tonight at City Council, I'll make my 3-minute statement, and I hope you will too. 3 minutes is all you get, but it's a very, very extremely important 3 minutes, because unless you voice your 3 minutes and I voice my 3 minutes, City Council and our fellow community members may not hear the important perspectives that we each hold. Again, that meeting's tonight, April 7th, 6:30 p.m. at 406 Ivinson Avenue. And this wildlife corridor is on tonight's agenda. I don't own this land. I've been told if you want to control what happens with it, if you want to do it, what you want to do with it, Eric, buy it. Well, that's a great suggestion. It's not the first suggestion. And when it was made by Tom Matamore at the Lincoln Community Center, I thought, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not do that? Why not preserve this? Why not invest more and double down on the unique area which this is? It's not blight. It's truly not. Because after all, if you start changing the definitions and you start calling a simple Webster's dictionary or a statutory definition old and antiquated, well, then we really can't truly be said to be respecting the legacy which stood before us. The lands like this that were preserved. This view, folks, drives tourism. And that smokestack on the horizon to the upper right of this screen, well, below that stands history as too. And the history is that of the railway. And April 24th, Big Boy 4014, that locomotive will return, passing to the east from its journey from the United States' westernmost edge. And thousands of people chase that train every time it runs. Let them see this. Let them see this preserved space. Undeveloped, not overdeveloped, but nurtured perhaps. Not filled with 164 parking spaces. Not threaten wildlife in an important corridor for their habitat and for our recreation. I'd like each and every one of you to write City Council. If you can't make the meeting tonight, or even if you can, write City Council. Go on record writing your perspective to City Council. Do you want to take away that view of the horizon with at least 84 apartment units? Much like you see in Fort Collins, Boulder, Denver, Chicago, suburbs of big cities. You can't build this as beautiful as we found it. Take a long look. If you want to maintain your views, you have to buy it, Laramie. And that's exactly what I hope you'll do. And tonight, at City Council, I'll give my 3 minutes on how I think that can be done. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a blessed day.